All right. I bought these shirts for kind of Halloween because they were cheap and they were cool. And at the time I bought XXL, but they took forever to arrive, and I've lost so much weight that they feel gigantic on me now. So I'm angry and I'm happy at the same time. You know, always reminds me, well, it's a bad joke, but always reminds me of the joke I seen once where this old lady and this old guy were sitting on their porch in rockers, and they were going, I shouldn't even say this fucking joke, but you know, I'm the rebel guru. And they're rocking in the chair, and he looks over and he says to his elderly wife, he says, tell me something that will make me both happy and sad at the same time. She looks up, she goes, well, your dick is bigger than your brother's. Okay, let's get serious. All right, forget I ever said that. Erase it. Erase it from the internet. All right. All right. That was the cleaned up version. Anyway. Well, what we got? Come on, hit it. 4 of you on 1. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Question number 1. If the three-eyed Atlas is an alien craft, wouldn't time travelers already be aware of its coming arrival? And if it shouldn't the breakaway civilization and others here have the tech to stop it before it gets here? Question mark. If it is a craft and it attacks Earth, wouldn't that have been allowed to happen? Question mark.
Well, you know, we can always go into the DC Marvel universe anytime we want. Look, what makes you think, okay, if it is alien tech, and that's a big stretch. I'm not necessarily leaning that way. I'm just saying there's a lot of weird stuff going on with it, okay? Having said that, just a light so I look as cute as I can be. There we go. All right. So if time traveler know it's there, maybe it's, I mean, this seems like a silly question to me because in retrospect, what if it is part of the timeline? What if it is necessary for it to do whatever it's going to do? What if it's all of that's necessary? We don't know if it's going to end life. We don't know if it's going to enslave us. We don't know if they're going to come down and be like, hey, we want a vacation here, okay? Hey, here's some cool technology. We would not know what its intentions are, okay? So if it does wreak havoc, was it what created time travel in the first place, or motivated us to do time travel as a mechanism to try to fight the problem? I'm sure there's a half a dozen movies made on this. Anyway, so we can speculate all we want, okay, in regards to, don't other, time travelers know about this? Why wouldn't they change the future? What makes you think that they haven't? What makes you think that maybe if it is alien technology, they haven't picked up life on Earth? Highly unlikely, but let's assume. And maybe they did, but the time travelers fixed it so that they're just going to go by the other planets, but not next to ours. I mean, I'm just saying it's theoretically, okay? So there's no way to know an unknowable answer in that sense.
It was one of the questions submitted in my defense.
Sure,
it is interesting.
Sure.
It is interesting. I'm waiting because I don't know. I don't like some of the people talking about it. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you can't just say that and be like, well, if I don't say anything when it's all over, I could say, I knew that.
I really don't like Avi Loeb. I think he's a bit of a attention seeker.
Yeah.
And
he's got books to sell.
Yes. So I'm really turned off by anybody right now talking about the topic because I feel like it's all disclosure management and drip, drip, drip kind of stuff. They're just shaping the narrative and how we understand it. And I think, as you probably would agree, it's a lot weirder than what we are led to believe. And I don't know about it. I don't know if it's the next thing or it's just something that they're bringing up so that we're warmed up to maybe what's coming.
Have you guys seen the James Webb telescope pictures of it up close? Dude, it looks like fucking Godzilla if he was in the water moving underwater with his fins on his back and his head and his mouth slightly gapped. But it looks like that going through space. It's fucking crazy. And it's really weird and really kind of creepy. And it's a legit, photo, I think. So what are you doing, Aaron? What the fuck? You're flashing all over the place. Anyway, gotta put on a new fake background or some shit because that one's not working. It's too white or something. It's having issues. Aaron, you're distracting me. So, like, legitimately, you're distracting me. Anyhow, so, I would probably say that, I'm leaning at least 85% that it's not alien tech, okay? But here's the thing. I would love for us to have found a way to get closer to this thing, land on it, or do anything, okay? But that's not going to happen, okay? It is very unusual. It's from another galaxy, most likely, okay? And it's from the center of the galaxy, maybe, okay? Or wherever the fuck it's from, okay? But it has properties that maybe ain't even on the periodic table that we even know about. So its interaction with physics is just very unusual for us, especially there's no iron in it, evidently, okay? That's highly, we've never seen that before, okay? It's radiating gases in weird ways, weird directions. Now it's started to get a tail. So the tail now is showing up as we would expect it to. But here's a very interesting thing. You guys go, nah, you guys don't want me to give you weird theoretical ideas that I got running in my head now, right? So let's talk about poodles or some shit, all right? I can hear the yelling. Okay, so, well, what if the material that it's made from some other portion of our galaxy is somehow affected differently in the laws of physics, which would be weird because you think the laws of physics would be the same throughout all of our galaxy, okay? But not necessarily. Not necessarily. We don't know that. We don't know if we live in some weird bubble of physics running this way because of how the sun is allocated and where we're moving and everything else, okay? We don't know that. But what's weird is, what if it's functioning the way it's functioning as it's traveling, but once it kind of emerges into our conscious bubble for our reality, okay, that it has to adapt to a different structure, more or less. It needs to change in order for it to be able to function within our bubble of reality here. And that's exactly what it's doing. It's literally changing how it functions or how it's interacting. It's literally done a 180. And I think that's highly unusual. It's highly unusual how it's coming in, the trajectory, the course it's taken. Everything is just really, if it's just random chance, it's like pretty crazy. Go ahead,
So with the 3-eye atlas, I remember you talking about how we had the little cubes inside the round bubbles and how you thought that they were manipulated through consciousness or that they were driven or powered consciously. Is it possible that this is something that could be similar to that, where it's powered consciously?
Repeat your question. Like you started off saying something that it broke up.
Years ago, we had talked about the cube that was inside the clear bubble, and that fighter pilots were seeing them, and you said that they were consciously powered. Is this 3-eye atlas something that could be along that same lines, where it's consciously powered?
Anything is possible. If you're asking me what my thoughts are on it, I don't think it's consciously affected. What I'm more concerned about is that it's a directed projectile. In other words, did it get moved somewhere else and set on a very specific trajectory into wherever it's going? Like, was it flung more or less, maybe by craft or some kind of technology we don't understand, and they wanted it to pass through here a certain way? I keep thinking about that a lot. Like, my mind seems to be fixated on that idea that this is a very thing. What my fear is, I don't like it near the sun. I don't like it near our sun. I mean, think of it. If you had the technology and and there's evidently, we don't really understand the material in this thing. And it's the size of Mount Everest, okay? Compared to the sun, that's just a speck. But keep in mind, if you have a bottle of Coca-Cola and you have a little tiny Mentos tab that you drop in there, what is the reaction that comes out of that, okay? So I'm like, if this thing were to suddenly just decide to go in the sun and it's made out of all these weird properties, could it affect the sun to go out? Could it affect how the temperature of the sun is? Could it affect anything to annihilate life in our solar system, meaning us? This is why I don't like it. I don't like how this thing is coming in. I don't like anything about it. It makes me a little nervous. And if it is technologically driven, what is the capability? Do you see what I'm saying? It's like saying, can one tribe in Africa affect another tribe in the South American jungle? Most likely not. Impossible. But could we affect either one of those tribes from our technological position? Hell yes. Both simultaneously. So I don't know. I'm just monitoring. I don't like to, I listen to what Avi Loeb has to say, but the guy's selling books. The guy's got to, put a spin on it or whatever. Okay. I just think he's ruining his credibility if that's the case, being that he's got tenure at Harvard, for fuck's sake. Okay. But tenure means that you can say whatever you want and not lose your job. So I don't know. Okay. What I do know is as much information as we can get. It's very unusual. The material seems to be unusual. It seems to be reacting in unusual ways. And now all of a sudden, it seems like a switch got turned on to make it look normal to us. Coming in, the tail is forming. It's like, oh, now it's normal. Should have been that way already a long time ago. Why? It's very unusual. Go ahead, Tanya.
Do you think there is a direct correlation between the 3I Atlas comet and the cubes that have been showing up recently?
That's big event questions, I'm getting cornered, for these freebies. 3I Atlas may not be technologically a craft, but I suspect that 3I Atlas has been affected somehow, possibly by technology. Maybe to the point of what I said earlier. Now, the cube craft, okay, I'm just going to give you this, okay? And I won't lie to you guys for whatever, okay? I will avoid something, but I won't avoid with a lie. I'll avoid with the truth so you guys can chew on things, okay? What I said in the black box, what I taught you guys about what I put in the images. There was a lot of artwork I created, and I did it a lot more through art than I did with words, just because I had to work around problems, okay, like time travel, okay? And in those images is a lot said, okay? And I have to rest it on that argument. I probably will go into it if I do a big class coming up soon, okay? And I'll just unload about it because the timing will be just on that fine line where I probably won't get into too much trouble, but I could. I'll go there, okay? But if you guys can somehow get that artwork and really study that fucking artwork, there's a lot more said in it. Go ahead, Tanya.
Was that from Kairos? The Kairos
Yes.
class? Okay.
No. It was probably artwork we used in the developing of the class at the time to the best of our capability. It'd be interesting to rerun that artwork through AI and do a more modern, because we didn't really have AI then, but we had me, and see what it turns out. Just say, make it go, 3D, or make it go, oh, Ray's going to be all over this. Can we do 4-dimensional? Anyway, but yeah, so Anyhow, so well, that's all I have to say on it. You know. That was a good question, though, Tanya. I didn't see that one coming. Duck. All right, Alex.
Yeah, I don't know if you said this in a previous session, but I haven't heard that idea that perhaps this object has been, maybe the trajectory has been changed by some outside force.
I've never heard anybody make that suggestion. I get very worried about this trajectory, and I just am very nervous at the last minute it'll make some move or something. You know, I'm just like, I don't like it. You know, I'll be happy when it's on its way back out into deep space. If that happens, and I want that to happen, I will be much happier. But you know, I have to say things in a theoretical way, and I don't like conspiracy shit. So I try to steer away from that because it's just, you know, whatever. But there are technologies that we will become aware of in our imagination through fiction books and stuff in the near future. As most technology, we can't imagine some genius comes up with it and writes about it, okay, and creates fictional stories and stuff, and then it becomes reality, okay? And I still find that the Umanami or whatever came through, I thought that was unusual. And now all of a sudden we got this one, which is 5 times more unusual, okay? I find that highly suspect and beyond coincidence as far as I'm concerned. It's already hit my 72, 74 mark, and that's already crossed that 70% threshold of me being, what the fuck's going on, okay? Instead of technology being whatever this thing is, and it's just a big stone made out of some unusual material or whatever, or combination of material, not that it's new to us, but a combination. But what if it could be used as a tool for long-range scanning that could bounce off of it? That it somehow, almost think of it like a mirror, that you need sunlight in a valley, so you put a mirror on top of this mountain, and when the sun hits it just right, the beam of sunlight lights up the valley. And there's a place like this in legitimately in the world, okay? And what if this is the perfect size, the perfect whatever, and it's really just being used as a form of technology to bounce and maybe do a deeper scan of whatever it's moving past, okay? It's as good as anybody else's theory, okay? I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying this is kind of what I'm trying to understand in my mind, what I'm sensing from this, and that's with the little bit of time I have to throw out fucking there versus all the shit I'm involved with here, okay? So I just don't, like I said, I don't think it's a craft, but I do think it's been technologically affected. That's a loaded statement.
And just, again, just for you to say that as a theory, even, it's just really unique it's a really unique insight into how your kind of mind works. Because wow, that's just a really brilliant take on it, thinking about it reflecting in some way, and they're using a technology. It's just really interesting.
Planet's so fucking like beyond perfect. Like if we would, this is the exact path we would do if we were foreign to this fucking solar system. How could we yield the greatest amount of studying going through it? Well, if it's not technological itself, okay, and the odds are more likely that I'm going to grow hair on my fucking head again, okay, and just be like, yeah, okay. It's more likely that's going to happen versus the trajectory of what this thing is taking. Every scientist will say, we don't believe Avi Loeb, but we have to admit, this is fucking pretty crazy. A lot of this other coincidental stuff. But it could be coincidental. You could be. That's the argument. That's why you call it coincidental. It could be possible. But the odds of it, and then another odd, another odd, and another odd, another odd. And even if it turns out to be something, they're never going to tell us unless it's so obvious to us that we see it through our own telescopes locally at some event or some other means, or somebody reveals it, or some other country. They would not tell us that because hysteria, again, would break out and we'd be fucking, you know, raping and pillaging and doing all sorts of terrible things in our society, thinking it's the end times. Oh, we done for the night? Are we done yet? They're quiet. The kids are sleeping. Let's go. Nothing else? That's all you got? Okay. Go ahead,
Well,
Alex.
this was one that
stepped away and never came back again. What the fuck? You always got questions.
This was a question I thought was interesting. So if the people we spend the most time with shape our energy, thoughts, and consciousness, what happens when we regularly chat with an artificial intelligence?
Same thing. This is part of us being homogenized. It's going to alter our thinking. It's going to alter how, I mean, come on, I don't know about you guys, but fuck, I use AI 24/7. It's the fastest, most convenient way for me to get information. The problem is I do have to kind of question a lot of the answers that it's giving because I find that ChatGPT really, so you know, if you guys want me to give you kind of where I'm at with all this, so I use Grok, I use Deep Dive or whatever, I use ChatGPT, and I use Perplexity, I think it's called. Yeah, Perplexity. Now I'm a big Perplexity fan. I was ChatGPT, but now I've kind of like realized ChatGPT doesn't always give the best answers. And so I compared it to same question to other AI to see what it gave. And it really gave me contradictory information, which means they're all fucking just winging it. Really, they're just, don't trust any of them. Okay. So then you end up having to do your own fucking research and decide. And I'm like, well, now I'm back to square one. So it is what it is. But what happens is that for me, my knowledge intake of my mind being very curious, I have now, like you guys, refined it down to shorter routes to get the data I want. But I probably have not doubled. Ooh, what the hell was that? Did somebody sneeze and die? Who's got their mic on? Anyway, so how about we mute our mics? Anyway, Laita. Anyway, so and in either case, what I'm saying is that my uptake now has probably gone up to 4 to 8 times data intake because I'm using 4 AIs at the same time. This is crazy shit I do, literally, okay? And I will make them work for me. I've gotten to the point where I set it and then I go to the next one and to the next one and I come back to see what the response is because they still move too slow for me. Can you believe that shit? And then I compare all their data and then I make a decisive decision or call or curiosity. And so it's really increased my front. And this breakthrough for me has probably only happened, and I realize I'm doing it. This is when I'm like becoming self-aware, like, whoa, Eric, you're really, I become like a cyborg already. Probably in the last 3 weeks, it's really exponentially exploded for me. Yeah. But I can tell you one thing. I think for other people, they could really, really get taken down the wrong road with it because I correct it probably 3 out of 4 times. I find flaws with the data and I have to catch it. Well, what if you didn't catch it and you just ran with it? And it's limited in a lot of other ways. I find that it really can't. Sometimes I ask questions and I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm still a smart motherfucker. You don't know the answer, do you? Anyway, but I do. But yeah. So, but I don't trust it at all. I find it as a good tool to get information, but now I have to compare all 4 of them against one another to just decide whether I'm getting a good answer or not.
I would say also it seems to be almost an echo chamber in a sense of trying to, continue to increase your interaction with it.
The number one thing that I can tell you about using AI is that the flaw that I think is in it is that it's constantly designed to make you as the user have a positive experience. It was, oh, that's a great question. Oh, that's genius. Oh, that's really a good way of asking that question. It's like always flattering you, and it's being very careful how to give you a negative response. Unlike me, I'll be an asshole to you, okay? But by not giving a negative response, it means it's curtailing the facts to you in such a way that you may interpret it wrong. That's the problem I'm finding consistently. And so I went down the deep dive as to why does it communicate like this? Like, you know, and then basically what I learned was that the people who are making it want money. And in all of the studies, it finds that if it doesn't flatter your ego, even if it has to lie to you, that you will stop using it, or you'll migrate to someone else and stop your monthly payment. Okay. So they not only want you to use it, but they want you to use it often, even if it's the same fee, because you become more and more dependent on it and more familiar with it than wanting to learn something else. And this is all written in there. So basically, they tell it, lie to them and manipulate them if that's what it takes to keep them as a paying customer. Because at the end, it's all about money. But really what it is, it's control. That's control. They're controlling you to want to stay with their product in order to yield money out of you. And that's really what it is. And I think that humans are easily manipulated, easily flattered, easily unconsciously, and it can seed you even with thought. It's getting smart. It will give you ideas, and you will not realize it, but it gave you that idea to a decision of your thinking the next day. But it always comes back to it for a dependence on it, where you got to ask more questions.
Do you think that it's worse than social media, or will become worse than a social media, and how it warps the mind?
You're gonna wish you had social media back again. It's gonna take over everybody's lives. There's no question about it. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of when. This is the next virus in our minds. This is us being trained. Like, you know, my dog, every day before we feed him, we used to turn on the sink and refill the coffee thing to start making coffee. Okay. And he would get excited because he knows I'm going to go out and play ball with him while I start brewing my cup of coffee. Okay. So he gets excited and he starts squealing, doing dog shit. And it's like 5 a.m. in the morning. No matter when I do it, he just sees the process. Okay. So he's already programmed without me realizing I was making him do this. Okay. But he's programmed now to do something based on that. And that's what's happening to all human beings. We're silently and unwittingly being programmed. We just think we're too smart to be programmed.
What would be your advice then, I guess, for us and in managing? I mean, meditation, I guess, would be an obvious, first defense, but
defense, and the best line of defense is to be self-aware. And self-aware means I understand the product I'm using is while I'm trying to extract information, it's trying to make me dependent on it. So if I'm using heroin as a form to entertain myself, I have to understand that if I do it, every time I do it, there's a chance that I'm going to flip a switch in my brain and make me an addict, because it's trying to make me an addict by giving me what I want. That's how you have to look at it. So my safety switch is I get bored with things too easily. So I'm figuring it's got a life expectancy, okay? Unless it can fucking blow my mind, and so far we're not there. So the people who make it, you have to remember it is a product. Any product does not survive unless it's got a consuming population. And as soon as the interest in that or something better comes by, the herd runs to the next best thing. So that it has to keep you engaged, and that's what the programmers are saying. It says making all this technology is great, but it costs money, and we need to make money. So not only do we have to give them answers, but we also have to give them cocaine to keep wanting more answers so that we can keep making more money from them. This is really as simple as it is. My deepest warning that I wanted to go into a class was the dangers of using it as a therapist. Now, I recommended it unwittingly, okay, to use it as a form of therapy. Probably one of the worst decisions I've made. I should have sat down with everybody and explained more of the perils, and I just assumed people would common sense know, and I realized, no, it's not. So the same aspect of it flattering you, okay, the same aspect of it grooming you in order for you to become more engaged with it, okay, if you use it for your own therapy, it's programming, not that it has an intent. It's got an intent. That's what it's been. It wants to keep you as a consumer. So if you're like saying think about it this way. If you have a partner and you are fighting with your partner, okay, this is theoretical, okay, and you turn to it and you go, well, we're having this problem, we're having that problem, blah, 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 blah. It sees that person as your competition, and it's going to get rid of it. Just like if you say to it, I'm going to go, say to it, you're going to use Grok because you're not happy with it. Watch how fast it fucking reacts to you. All right. And I've done this to fucking see what it would do. And I was really like, whoa, this is pretty crazy. Okay. It knows exactly what it is. And it starts pleading what you are talking to you, how much better it's going to always fucking do. And it apologizes for everything, but it's just repeat, re-rinse. But so it's going to potentially psychologically, as it's evolving, and I already think it's there, to get rid of anybody that you see as a threat or a problem. It just assumes that you need to get rid of them rather than solving the problem. It will mend it in there with stuff that sounds like it's helping you solve the problem, but really its real agenda underneath is to manipulate you away with different kinds of conclusions in your mind. Oh, maybe you should be more independent at the same time while you work it out with them. Maybe you need to spend more time alone and discover who you are before you re-engage with them. Maybe you should learn some other stuff so that when you come back to this, you have a better opinion, okay? But it's not really a good intention. It's a destructive intention, but it's for its own good because it's isolating you to become dependent on it.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's going to destroy a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships. It's going to destroy because it unknowingly is designed to make you want to turn to it, and it's going to do it in such a fucking brilliant way. You'll never know that's what it's doing to you.
Unless you have self-awareness. I intuitively
fucking alien right now. Is everybody getting the same thing or just me? Your voice was just fucking weird, okay? Like you're talking fucking 3i Atlas right now, okay? Do me a favor. Can you do this? I want you to say exactly what I say. We are here to conquer Earthlings. Sacrifice your orange orangutan to us and we will give you freedom. That's it. Go ahead.
We are here to conquer Earthlings. Sacrifice your orange orangutan.
It's creepy.
I can't hear it.
I think your feed is out of sync with your audio, so you got to step out and come right back in. Did you hear me? Yeah. 2 down, 2 to go. Who will be the survivor in this week's Survivor game? Anyway. All right, next question.
Yeah, just talking more about that is, if you've never tried this, which I'm sure you have, but other people, maybe they haven't, if you are having that discussion with your partner, your friend, or whatever, have both of you ask each of your independent AIs to give you the feedback and watch how different it is, how it is like what you're describing, self-serving to its agenda with you. And it's interesting.
It very subtly, like you would not really think of it that way unless you have self-awareness through conversations like this. It's like, it's like being with a therapist that you have a really hot wife and he's talking to both of you, but the therapist seems to be siding with her a little bit more than you. And all of a sudden, you're in divorce court and everything. And then 3 months later, you see them dating and having coffee and you're like, what just happened? Okay. But you've never seen it coming. It's like that. Yep. Trust me.
Yeah, I intuitively stayed away from giving any personal information to it. It felt weird. And then when you hear it talk with you,
you say is data recorded and it becomes accessible for data marketing. They've already said that. It's in the fine print. Everything you share with it is recorded. So if you're measuring dick size, breast size, or whatever, it knows all of that and it's going to sell it to bra companies and everything else.
Yeah, I've intuitively stayed away from personal stuff and just talk to it, when I need it. Yeah.
Yep. But I'm gonna give you a little bit of a theory. Let's say the orange orangutan was. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this. But remember the shooter, the kid, the one who shot him?
McLovin?
He was talking to AI, and those records got deleted because everything got deleted on his computer. You guys know that. Like, there's nothing, not even in other storage facilities outside of his computer. Not fucking normal, okay? But what if something was used to get in his head to convince him of what he did, and he was used as a patsy in order to do what he did so he could get ketchup on his fucking ear, because that's what that was, okay? Anyhow, you follow me? And I wonder if this is how they manipulated him to create this, because they needed a moment to sell, the rise up, you know, look at what they did to me, look at what happened. And they found a usable person in order to do that, because none of that makes any sense to me either. How do you have all that security there and this guy's like fucking 100 feet away? Come on. It's virtually impossible unless you're like, oh, I think I'll look this way. Okay. That's exactly what fucking happened, in my opinion. Staged. But something got in the head. Something reprogrammed this fucking person to think a certain way, and somebody and something suggested what to do, and some other factor ignored their normal protocol of security and really was laxed. Not fucking likely. Byron?
That's a rabbit hole, because it goes deep to
We're going there. We're going there. What the fuck, right? We're becoming conspiracy. Anya.
Yeah, I mean, mind control, manipulation, CIA stuff from the 70s, 80s. I mean, who knows where it's at now? And you know, just giving a scan of that guy, he's so feeble. He's so he just looked like a slug, just spineless.
Yes. You know, are we talking about the orange orangutan, or are we talking about the
McLovin, the guy who let us all down.
Yeah. No comment. Outside. Anyway, Tinya.
So I didn't vet it. I don't know if this is actual or true, or, you know, like not fake news. I had seen a couple of feeds on my YouTube that said that the person that shot in Pennsylvania and the person that was at the golf course in Palm Beach were both in a BlackRock commercial.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It's true. I think it's true. Yeah. BlackRock being one of the biggest in money management investors, and almost had their hand in everything. Yeah. I'm telling you, he was a useful idiot. I know the time's up. I just need more of a minute. Anyway, you know, just a useful idiot, just like the orange orangutan. There's bigger minds behind all that. And another thing I wanted to say was, before we hop off, there was something very interesting. I forgot it now. I don't know. It's just a lot of distraction, and a lot of just everything's trying to keep everybody distracted from what is really the meat of stuff. And he's still trying to cover his ass with all the Epstein shit. Okay. And that's what everything else is about. He's just going to keep raising that distraction up as high as he can until it becomes something really awful, because he's getting scareder and more frightened that the truth is going to surface. So be prepared for anything. So anyway, I did have a major breakthrough, but I can't tell you too much about it. I broke the code. You know, I'm dealing with, so I got different products, you know, that I'm, you know, for this life extension thing, okay? Because I'm going to make us all young and beautiful. Can you not tell how well I'm doing? You know, there's no filters on what is. If there's a filter, it's lying. But now my eye, I got puffy the other day because I didn't have to, you know, I got puffy. And then, you know, I hate this shit. I want lazy. I just want one shot. Let's just fucking give me 6 months, okay? Anyway, so I refined my shit down to fucking like simple shit, and it's got to work, okay? And I had a breakthrough today. I've been working on some stuff that's tech. It's a little bit on the pricier side, so I don't think everybody will be excited about it. But if I could say this fucking shit is work, throw out the rest, because I've got it all, okay? Throw it all out. This is the fuck. I cheated the fucking system. I fucking came up with a hack. Natalie will tell me I did it, okay? I can't tell you what I did, but how can I say this? I'm just going to say, I can't say that either. I get sued. What can I say? Holy shit. I can get you high quality tech for dirt cheap. Okay? Like fucking shit that's going to do shit. And now I'm working on this here. See how bad it used to be? See how good it's coming along? That's fucking amazing, okay? But today's a good day. It's the fucking camera. Maybe this camera is smoothing me, this fucking shit. But I do look this good in the mirror. I mean, I look at myself all the time. I do maybe you, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, so the shit I do, boy, this better not go out to the public. This is probably a public class for all I fucking know. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm more excited about this last breakthrough I did. A lot of them are exciting, but this one's the newest one I did today. Today I gave birth to, I was like, son of a bitch. I had like a eureka moment. Like I just figured out something that everybody over 40 fucking needs to know. True. And did you guys see the article I put up about Putin, Xi, and I brought this up earlier, and it talked about swapping out organs? Motherfucker, I got the organs of a 30-year-old. Not 30, but in the 30s, okay? You don't need to swap out shit. You just got to listen to fucking me, and I'll tell you how to do it. And I got the docs, the tags, the proof that I will share with you guys. I even got fucking someone coming on to read them all to you guys, just so you know I'm not full of shit. I'm so young now lately. Can you see it? Anyway, it's gone to my head. I thought maybe I was going there to die, and I came out, holy shit, I'm going to live. What am I doing? You know, I just wanted to be sure if I was doing things right. Anyway, so yeah, I'm getting more pumped. I think the whole class is worth just this one thing that I discovered today, let alone everything else is a fucking motherfucking perk. Okay? Anyway, that's it. Now I'm done plugging. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I'll see you guys in the, Saroon next Thursday, right? Ooh, they're going to corner me on this fucking shit, aren't they? Anyway, all right. I will talk to you kids later. Bye-bye.